you cool cats and hot chicks out there, let me tell you something. Maybe you've been feeling a little down lately. Well, you can get down with the Shoot Brothers podcast, and that's the truth. That's right. This is the Shoot Brothers podcast, the one and only world's greatest wrestling podcast, hosted by myself, Mike the Shoot Shepherd, Cameron Osborne.
Bang, bang. It's on the shirt. World's greatest. It's on the shirt. We're selling merch.
World's great.
Selling merch now.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can call themselves that. You can call yourself the best in the world, and if you put it on a t-shirt, I mean, hey.
I mean, sometimes you are the best in the world. You know, CM Punk has often referred to himself as that. However, Shane McMahon also referred to himself as that one time.
That's what I mean. So, I mean, yeah.
It's all about who who gets it on a shirt first.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Jackson is the king of pop, but I mean, that's just a title, right?
I mean, that's the question. Did he put it on a shirt? Because if he didn't put it on a shirt, although it takes is for Shane McMahon to put it on a shirt, and then suddenly Shane McMahon is the king of pop. The king of the pop. Wow. The king of the crowd pop. Here comes the money. That's right, Mike. This is True Brothers. Big episode here. Hey, sort of glossed by this. God, I try my best to kind of always emphasize these things when it happens. But I totally missed out. Last week, episode 150.
Oh, yeah.
Went right past it. You know what? I am, usually I'm pretty good at kind of introducing the episode number right before, but totally forgot it on a very important one. Our bicentennial?
I don't think 150 has I mean, I just call it the Pokedex.
The Pokedex, of course, Pokedex. Which makes this our big Mew episode.
Yeah, this is the Mew.
This is where you have to kind of meet up with someone who has Pokemon Blue or Red. If you have the other one, then you got to kind of... I don't really remember the process of how Mew was exchanged between devices, but do you recall?
Well, I mean, the trading aspect was the same as any other. It was getting a Mew. Most people didn't get a Mew legitimately. They just used a Game Shark and...
Yeah, now how were you supposed to get a Mew? I totally forget.
I mean, one of the legitimate ways was like Nintendo would go on a tour and they'd come to the malls and like set up a kiosk and you'd bring your Game Boy and they'd transfer you the Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember they were at the Upper Canada Mall once doing it.
And
but I already had it because I cheated.
Because you cheated.
I had the Game Shark like everyone else. We all had it months ahead of time.
Was there no legitimate way in game to get Mew?
I mean, years later, people have found unintended way. Like, you don't have to cheat, but you still have to, like, exploit glitches. It's like walk in this bush and then pull out this item and then fly here. And it was almost like it's a glitch, but then it makes Mew appear and you can catch him and everything's normal.
Well, certainly, and, we all recall the glitch where you would put an item sixth in your safety deposit box and then while you were saving, you would turn the game off, turn it back on, and then you had to go to... Viridian City and then open up your box. We all remember that.
It was a similar process.
The unlimited whatever the item was, unlimited rare candies. Yeah. That's how we all got that level.
Master Balls.
Yeah, that's how we all got that level. Level 100 Pikachu is super OP. I do not know if you recall this from playing the game. I had a level 100 Pikachu in my kind of roster, in my starting 5 or 8 or whatever it is, for years.
Yeah, no, he's one of the go-to. I mean, there are some advantages to not evolving the Pokemon. They stay quicker. They can learn different moves faster.
Of course. I remember there was a point, too, where, I don't know, I think I kind of got integrity halfway through playing Pokemon Red. So I had a bunch of, like, I kind of, I think I souped up Pikachu and maybe a couple others. And then I said to myself, no, I should be doing this legitimately. So, of course, all you do, I'm sure, Mike, you would do a similar tactic where if you wanted somebody to evolve, super early level, you want them to evolve all the way through, you go to the Final Four, you put them first in the fighting rotation, and then take them out immediately.
Yeah.
So they get all the experience, of course, and then one time through the Final Four, or whatever it is. What are they called?
Yeah, Final Four.
It is the Final Four?
Wait, no.
Yeah, they're called something. Fantastic Four?
No, not the Fantastic. Why?
Yeah, I'm blanking on this. The ferocious...
Elite Four.
Elite Four. There we go. The Elite Four. The Elite.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I mean...
The Elite.
We're seeing some.
I mean, hey,
we're seeing some Elite Four on Dynamite. Why they golden missed opportunity. Let's get into professional wrestling because we can keep going about Pokemon. I think for for an entire episode. But let's get into our wrestling week. How we always do, which is by crowning a brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. Fantastic. This guy kind of came across my kind of like the Twitter scope not too long ago. I was like, oh, that is something outrageous to have said. And then as soon as that happens, that's enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on you kind of in the distance, sort of like a bat, kind of like a naughty country. And I'm Kofi Annan. Heading up the UN there. I'm kind of like, I got my eye on you. And who it is this week is a brand new, one-time Tweet League champion, Virgil, who was somebody I was unaware of until he popped up in an episode of Dynamite, I think.
Former $1 million champion, Virgil.
Something happened there.
One of the few $1 million.
One of four?
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
But anyways, he posted a photo of both him and Marty Jannetty tagging together. Old
like
school.
Recently?
No. Old school
Okay,
WWF logo. People in the background have mustaches and thick glasses. And he posts a photo saying, "Time to reveal the truth." Ooh, as soon as I saw that, oh, baby, we're going into it. Shawn Michaels is a jealous bitch, and I was the original member of the Meat Sauce Rockers, and he could never handle my breadstick was bigger than his crouton. Marty always wanted us to be the real team, and because Shawn knew how to tickle Vince's meatballs, he knew that he had to cut off the prosciutto fast enough to devour the buffet all for himself. Even Sonny was obsessed with me. He had no loyalty other than his own benefits. Ask Brett, ask Sid, ask Takes, ask Dink, ask Berserker, and ask Max Moon. Ask the Orient Express, ask Akeem, ask the Bushwhacker Butch. Anyways, this is how the business works. Firing off hot Virgil. I just love some of that. Yeah, it was fantastic. Virgil, new Tweet of the Week champion, calling out Shawn Michaels, gotta love it. And also the fantastic meat play in the middle, meatballs, the prosciutto thing.
I've seen some tweets in the past from Virgil. He plays into this whole, this is kind of his persona, big dick energy kind of guy.
Literally.
He loves talking about meat and his dick and things like that. Yeah.
Hey.
But he's holding on to some 25-year-old beef, I guess, literally.
Literally 25-year-old beef. I
don't recommend, folks. You'll be not feeling too good.
Even if it was frozen this whole time, just throw it away and get a new slab of beef.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult to go down to No Frills, get some ground chuck, make your pasta sauce. Virgil, new Tweet League champion, but also more officially on the radar.
On the radar.
The radar.
And off the rails.
Honestly, off the rails. Congratulations to Virgil.
There you go.
Let's get into it. Let's start firing off the wrestling week, So I think last week we'd actually kind of cut Friday in half just because we were already sitting on a long-ish show and the way everything unfolds, all these shows aren't too long all the time. But we did cut off Friday a bit early. It's 10 p.m. You're watching the TNT network. You just finished a made-for-TV version of Kill Bill Volume 2, which is like a 42-minute long movie. And it's... yeah, there must be missing a lot. And it's time to check out some AEW Rampage.
Rampage on TNT. So let's start off with a bang. Bryan Danielson taking on Nick Jackson here. Can't go wrong. Just super hot crowd. Everyone's having great wrestling going on. Bryan doing all his technical submission stuff. But then Nick on the outside distracts the ref, and Matt Jackson starts hitting him. And at this point, I think it's impossible for the Elite to have a match without interfering these days.
I think there was one 3 weeks ago, and that's why I noticed. But yeah, the factions do as factions does. They're dangerous. These are dangerous men.
Dangerous men. Nick shows it off by doing He tries to do Bryan's kicks, but the crowd's chanting no, and he does every time he does it. And Bryan's just taking them fearlessly, inviting him to hit harder. And Bryan just gets fired up, goes on a roll, hits his big yes kicks, and then eventually locks in the cattle mutilation. Nick has nowhere to go, and he taps out. So Bryan gets the first win in AEW, and I like that they're already establishing that cattle mutilation as another deadly weapon in his arsenal.
That's a super cool move. Zack Sabre Jr. does it all the time. I've been watching a lot of PWG highlights from 3-4 years ago. He's always pulling that move off. And I swear I'd never seen it ever. And now I'm seeing it all the time.
Yeah, well, Bryan barely. He only did it in WWE like 3 times probably. Maybe more.
Right.
Either way, it's a great move. Good win for Bryan. Afterwards, the Elite try to beat him up, but Jurassic Express, Christian come out to help. So they all stand tall. They'll have a match together next week.
Yeah. One thing that's great, since Adam Cole's arrival, far less of the other two, the fucknuts there.
Yeah, the Bad Brother.
Yeah. So I genuinely actually forgot what they were called. Way less of the Good Brothers since their departure. Maybe the Elite's getting a little too full.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be the Elite, not
those guys.
Those guys.
More
in between matches.
Yeah,
there was like this short little film about Ricky Starks. I don't really know. I don't know what it was trying to establish. It was just slick.
It was just there, and you gotta wonder too, like the people, the people attending these broadcasts this is our, they film Dark, or no, they film Elevation, and then they film Dynamite, and then they film Rampage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wrestling to sit through.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of wrestling to sit through.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a pay-per-view
length
with commercials.
Yeah, it's kind of like, hey, you want to pay $30 and just check out a bunch of wrestling? Here you go. Yeah. So yeah, I bet by this point, the whatever the main event of Rampage always ends up being, you've been there for 7 hours.
Yeah, I mean, lately they've been putting the big match at the beginning of Rampage.
At least, yeah,
I guess it's a good idea.
But
earlier at night,
you put 6 or 7 matches on Dark. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, let's get to the next match here. We got triple threat women's action: Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa. And the match was fine. Rosa, the clear favorite here, top talent of the 3, obviously. But it's triple threats. So there's no DQ. We get trash can gets pulled out at one point, and that gets drop kicked into Jade's chest, and then they set up a table on the floor, and Thunder Rosa powerbombs Nyla off the apron through the table. Big bump there. But then Jade nails Rosa with a chair, just beats the shit out of her, hits her a bunch of times with the chair, and gets a 3 count. Big surprise there, seeing Jade Cargill, but she remains undefeated, so they're protecting her.
Yeah, whatever that streak is they keep telling us about.
Yeah. And her gear is a little too tight. She's always like adjusting it and stuff.
Loosen up a bit.
Loosen up a bit.
Oh, loosen up.
I don't know.
Loosen up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a good match. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, it was good. I was just a bit surprised seeing Rosa take the pin, but hey, they're pushing Jade and they see big things in her.
Amen. I bet she's probably, if not the top contender, she's got to be one of the top contenders. Yeah.
And she's a homegrown, what is it called? The Factory or AEW.
Oh yeah, she's kind of like that version of the Performance Center.
Yeah, she's from that.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the main event here. We got Orange Cassidy taking on Jack Evans in the illustrious hair versus hair match. So
right immediately after we suggested a hair match.
Yeah, they got right to it. Orange Cassidy is doing his shtick. Everyone loves it. But, of course, Hardy's on the outside interfering. Evans is flying all over, just springboarding, moonsaults, 450 splashes. Bunch of fun shit. But, yeah, Orange Cassidy fights back, so the rest of the Hardy family office try to fuck with him, but then the best friends come out, Dark Order come out, so they block them all, and this allows Cassidy to hit the orange punch, get the 3 count. So everyone knows what's coming now. They sit Evans down in the ring and are in a chair, and Orange Cassidy gets the scissors, pulls a big chunk of the ponytail, and just cuts it off. And then they pull out the clippers, the razor, and just start shaving big chunks of hair off, and then just kick him out of the ring. And -1 comes out, puts on a fake mustache, and they all do a big group hug with him.
Yeah. Jack Evans has a lot of hair, a lot more hair than Angelico has. So you made the right call there. But God, I thought Hardy was going to get his hair shaved.
I guess he wasn't willing to do.
That's where
wasn't willing to put his own.
That's where I felt it was going.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Evans, he had long hair, but he wasn't really involved in the story. So
yeah, he was the lackey, exactly. So, the payoff felt not as nice as it could have been had it been Matt Hardy. Yeah,
it would have been a bigger deal. There wasn't even... Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. This feud isn't really that hot. This Hardy family, Orange Cassidy thing.
Yeah, the whole... Well, again, making your entire gimmick, I'm rich, inexplicably... isn't always going to work. That being said, though, Jack Evans, we never see him, and he's always impressive. Do you get this from him too?
Yeah, no, he was looking really good.
It's not until you look into the two of those guys, the Hybrid 2 team, on a deeper YouTube.
And we don't even see them as a team.
Wikipedia level. No, never. These guys are insane. I think one of them, I think it's Jack Evans, has had the AAA tag titles the second longest ever. Has 1,000 days of reign under his belt. Yeah, these guys are, celebrated, decorated all over the world, and then we see them in these very, very, very brief flashes in AEW. It's always great. They always lose, but it's always great. And then they leave. We'll see. We'll see Jack Evans in 2 months, and he'll have a great match.
And his hair will be halfway grown.
Exactly, it'll be halfway grown. Because I always feel people, celebrities and people on TV, can grow their hair longer than I can. Anytime it was the. Did you watch the Bo Burnham special?
Yeah.
Inside, his hair grew way longer than my hair grew, and it was sort of I was kind of picturing how long my hair was at the beginning of the Demi, and I'm okay, his hair was a little bit longer, but yeah, you know what I'm saying, Mike?
Well, you got the curls though, so you lose some length there, or it doesn't look.
Mike, you had long hair for years. You had long, beautiful Adam Cole length hair.
Yeah. But that, you said, took years to reach that length. It wasn't I just went from grade 8 to grade 9 and it was that long.
Yeah, when you came back that one summer when everyone came back from school, having just hit puberty, a bunch of the guys had deeper voices, or they're way tall. They grew 4 inches over the summer. Your hair grew 4 inches. That'd be impressive. That was AEW Rampage. So that was Friday night. Let's just keep going through the week the way that God intended. Because on the 5th day, of course, God made and then on the first day, Genesis 1:1, on the first day, God created Monday Night Raw.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Before he even made the ability to watch Monday Night Raw, or the ability to record it, or the ability to film it, the ability to make tools to assemble a ring, before he made the synthetic materials that would needed to be made to just make professional wrestling happen. He had this in mind the whole time.
Well,
the first day, Monday Night Raw.
That's very high praise of you to call Mr. McMahon God, and I'm sure he would appreciate it.
Or am I saying God is Mr. McMahon?
Yeah, who cares? Chicken and the egg.
It's a real chicken and the egg situation. We have Monday Night Raw, but the exciting thing, of course, is that this is night 2 of the draft that doesn't come into effect until the 22nd of October. Very important days that you listeners don't have to remember, but I will take the responsibility of remembering.
Yeah, and just like that, I'll take the responsibility of letting you know a couple of the supplemental draft picks that happened in between shows.
Of course, you know something's going to happen on Talking Smack. You know something is going to happen on just some intern tweeting out. So there were, run down that little list.
Yeah, I guess I'll just tell you who actually switched brands.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, so Zelina Vega moves over to Raw. Alpha Academy move over to Raw. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz move to Raw. They split up T-Bar and Mace. So T-Bar's on Raw, Mace is on SmackDown. So hopefully they'll just, I've been saying this for a year now, but become Dominic Dijakovic. And then Mansoor, Mustafa Ali went to SmackDown. Drew Gulak went to SmackDown. And Aaliyah gets called up from NXT. Robert Stonebrand goes to SmackDown.
Yeah, that's a big, that was a big, possibly surprising call up.
Yeah. Don't know how. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, surprising call up. Nice to see Mansoor and Ricochet staying together.
Ali.
That's cool. Oh, sorry, Ali. Sorry. My bad. They have been working well together lately. I think Ricochet did move over to SmackDown, but maybe that was last
I think that's coming up.
Oh, crap. I'm so sorry, Mike.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry, Mike.
Let's just get into it.
Shall we, right? Because Monday Night Raw opens with our SmackDown Women's Champion, huh? Good thing. This is still the probationary period. People are allowed to switch brand. We're in the limbo right now. Becky Lynch.
Chicken limbo.
Becky Lynch makes her way down to the ring. To me, what seemed like a positive response from the crowd.
Yeah, mostly cheers here.
Mostly cheers, yeah.
But she says, hey, I'm not jumping the gun because guess what? I'm the number one pick for Monday Night Raw. She mentions she never lost that Raw championship to begin with, so I should become Becky Two Belts once again. Then Charlotte Flair interrupts. She's the champ, so she's got something to say, but the crowd's already chanting Becky Two Belts. So Charlotte, she has something. She insults Becky. Bianca Belair comes out. All three women just go at it on the mic, and they're ready to go at it physically, but then Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville come out to announce that Charlotte and Bianca Belair will fight later. In a non-title match. In
a non-title match, of course. It would have been nice if we went right to this. Led right to Charlotte, Bianca. Instead, we kind of move a little bit further away onto another match. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the heat, the crowd was super popped for this. And if it had just kind of happened...
Yeah. Nice. They gave it the main event slot, so I guess.
Of course. And we've seen this before. Once, I think most recent draft, it was the Street Profits and the New Day both held their respective brands' tag titles, and then when they flopped, they just exchanged. I think literally they exchanged them, just exchanged the belts.
Oh, there you go.
So possibly, when we saw Charlotte drafted SmackDown, maybe it was kind of Becky to Raw. That's what makes sense. But yeah, really kind of this whole, and then it just kind of changes this whole, the way in which Bianca Belair lost that title. It really adds to that sucks. She lost it in 27 seconds, and now the person who has the belt's like, I'm going over to the other brand, psych. You're just, God damn it, Bianca.
Well, Bianca's coming with her, though.
They're
both going to Raw. They're both on Raw.
Okay.
So they can still finish.
I guess anyway, just for the other belt. That's a good point.
Yeah, and they're still having a fucking triple threat in Crown Jewel, which, this whole 2-week limbo is just weird because even though she is the champion, she might not be the champion by the time the thing comes around. We'll see.
Bizarre.
But let's get into some picks. Raw makes it official. They say, yes, Becky, you are number one. And then SmackDown up next picks the Usos, giving Paul Heyman big relief backstage, keeping the bloodline together. And then Raw takes Bobby Lashley, while SmackDown takes the boss, Sasha Banks. So the blue hair stays on the blue brand.
And I guess just presumably Paul Heyman, he doesn't have to get drafted, right? He can just...
No.
Okay, good. Well, I don't know, because hey, if you want to use up a draft slot for Paul Heyman, then be my guest.
Yeah. But we've got a championship match. match, United States title, Damian Priest defending against Jeff Hardy, who, I mean, after that triple threat, I guess he was just so over. Why not give him a shot?
Hot take. Jeff Hardy's over. Hot take.
So he was looking pretty good here. He manages to hit the twist of fate and the Swanton bomb, but he takes a second to make the cover. So Priest kicks out at 2. And right off that, he puts Hardy into a cradle, gets a 3 count, retains his title.
Wow.
Yeah. So afterwards, though, they interview the loser, Jeff Hardy. But in the middle of it all, Austin Theory comes out, interrupts, and he's just being a big fanboy. He's like, "Oh, Jeff, man, I love you. I grew up watching you," and asks him to take a selfie. But then he sucker punches him, lays Jeff out, and then lays down on the ground beside him to take a selfie of the downed man.
Wow. Yeah, this is still something. Damian Priest has not lost in singles competition on the main roster.
Yeah, he's on a roll.
There's got to be something to this. If I were to put my money on early Rumble candidates, it's a guy like this. His last loss was at New Year's Evil on NXT against Karrion Kross. Last loss that he's had here. So yeah, I would have to if I were a betting man. I don't know.
He's in the running, definitely.
He might be walking away with this Rumble.
Yeah, at least a top 4 contender in that final 4 spot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he could take it. Anyways, fun little match. We go to the next round. Monday Night Raw picks Seth Rollins. SmackDown picks Intercontinental Champion King Nakamura and Rick Boogs as a package deal.
Great deal. Great deal, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, why not? No reason to split up teams. But of course, they got the mid-card title, so Raw bounces right back with United States champ Damian Priest. And to close out the round, SmackDown picks Sheamus. So he's jumping brands.
Yeah. Sometimes you do all you can, but Sheamus and Drew McIntyre staying together because I think Drew's moving over to SmackDown, correct?
Yeah, they've both been switched up, so could give Roman some fresh opponents. We'll see.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff could happen. But women's action here: Shayna Baszler versus Dana Brooke, who we don't really see much these days, and she's pretty much just here to get destroyed. Baszler taps her out very quickly and then beats her down. And goes to do her new favorite spot where she breaks your arm on the steel steps, but Doudrop comes dancing out to help Dana. Not just running out, but dancing out.
So that's the gimmick, dancing.
That's the gimmick. This little finger. I don't know. That was the end of that segment. So Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali and Mansoor take on Humberto Carrillo, Angel Garza. Nothing too crazy. Didn't go very long. Carrillo interferes, slams Ali into the ring post, which allows Garza to make the pin, get the 3 count.
Yeah, one of those, just like the match before, how is there time to even kind of say, what? Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and Ali and Mansoor, I thought all month they would be pushing them for Crown Jewel, but they keep losing. So it's like, okay.
Like, aren't all 4 of these guys really good? And yet they get a minute 45.
Yeah. Well, let's go to the next round of the draft. Monday Night Raw selects AJ Styles and Omos sticking together. SmackDown takes Shayna Baszler. Raw takes Kevin Owens, and then SmackDown picks Xia Li, which is a nice. But once again, Tian Shaw is in Tian shambles with this.
That was good.
Losing their leader here.
That was good. Did you write that one down? Did you come up with that already?
No.
That was just right off the cuff. Wow, that was good.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited. I like Xia Li. I'm excited to see what she can be. On SmackDown.
On Smack at a D.
Yeah, I couldn't. We'll see. Either way. Then Big E comes out to cut a promo. Talks about the New Day being split up once again for the 2nd straight year, right after being reunited. But then he talks about Drew McIntyre, who comes out and he says it's the Drew Day. Yes, it is. And I've got unfinished business with that WWE title. But hey, congratulations on winning the big one. But yeah, he wants to challenge Big E, but then the Dirty Dogs interrupt, and Ziggler starts playing clips of when he was world champion. And Big E was just his bodyguard. And he says, without Dolph Ziggler, there is no Big E. And then Dolph says the same for you, Drew, because you left the company. When you came back, it was Ziggler who brought him back at his side in 2018. So, yeah, Dolph just says, I want to thank you. That's all. Big says, no, how about you fight me, Big E? And then Drew and says, me, Big D. So, yeah, we get the match. Big E and Big D versus Double D. And
versus Big Bob. Big Bob and Dolph.
Yeah. So the Dirty Dogs, they get some moves in, but yeah, Team Big fights back, and Big E's got Ziggler lined up for the big ending, but Drew tags himself in, hits the Claymore, steals the pin, gets the win.
Excuse me. Yes, steals the pin, gets the win. I feel like the talking segment was way too much to kind of lead to what we got. There was a lot of that this week across the world. Way too much talking to lead to what exactly. But it was funny. Nothing else. Maybe, Drew McIntyre staying on that babyface side when he moves over to SmackDown.
Yeah, he could definitely be one of the challengers for Roman. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't even need to mention. Let's just go back.
Who's Big E going to face at Crown Jewel? Is that set in stone?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's where he faces Drew.
Yeah, maybe Drew, Big D, Big E.
Yeah, maybe that's where it takes place. I don't know.
Winner gets to call themselves Big something.
Well, in the meantime, Kevin Owens comes out for a promo, but he gets interrupted by Akira Tozawa, of all people. He's like, hi, Kevin, welcome back to Raw, but I want to fight Reggie right now. So Owens just says, get the fuck out, gives him a stunner.
GTFO. That's what the kids say. GTFO.
Yeah. And he did.
And he GTFO'd all the way out. But we have some women's tag action, actually, that comes up after this. Nikki.
Well, you missed a little round there of the draft.
Oh, yes. Okay, God. Yeah. These are all
that's okay.
These are amalgamated.
Just a quick
for me.
picks. Raw picks Street Profits. SmackDown pick Viking Raiders. Raw picks Finn Balor and the Demon, I guess, 2 for 1. And then SmackDown selects Ricochet, as we spoiled.
SmackDown selects Ricochet, which is, to me, one of the crazier picks, one of the more important picks of the draft. Here's why. Ricochet has been on every episode of Main Event for the last 2.5 months. They film Main Event before Monday Night Raw, not SmackDown. So are we gonna have to fly Ricochet to 2 cities in one
I hope not.
in 1 week? Is the mainstay of Main Event leaving us? Those are my questions that I have.
Well, tune in. They've given you a reason to tune in Main Event next week.
Tune into Main Event next week and find out.
All 12 of you that watch the show.
You can find it on some network, I'm not sure, at some time. I'm also not sure.
Well, let's go to this women tag match that you promised us. Women's tag title match, if you will. Nikki ASA, Rhea Ripley defending the titles against Tamina and Natalya. Nikki hits a big crossbody off the top rope. Soon after, Rhea hits the riptide, and then Nikki climbs up onto Rhea's shoulders and slams down off of her onto Tamina for the quick 3 count.
For the quick 1, 2, 3, these two are meshing around. Rhea Ripley's clearly a babyface now, finally.
Yeah. People are booing Nikki less.
Because she's...
She had a very quick arc. Like, she was loved for a month, and then they hated her, and now she's back to being in the middle.
It was surprising to see Natalya and Tamina get another shot at this championship. Yeah. The matches on this whole episode of Raw were a little spotty.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens on a this is what happened. This is an episode of Raw where we didn't have an AJ Matt Riddle match, and look what happens. The entire show falls apart because we don't have those guys to hold us down for 15 minutes.
Well, next round of the draft, Monday Night Raw takes Karrion Kross. Well, SmackDown picks Humberto and Angel Garza. And then Raw takes Alexa Bliss, which gave the crowd a big pop. And SmackDown who picks Cesaro, who I feel like we haven't even seen in a long time.
I think he got Roman Reigns out of existence. I think that.
Yeah,
I think
it's a
that's
damn
what
shame. Damn shame.
Yeah.
Just like Goldberg coming out. And he's here to yell at Lashley. He's still mad about him beating up his son 2 months ago. Come on, get over it. But anyways, Bobby comes out and says, yeah, let's fight at Crown Jewel. No holds barred. Goldberg says, thank you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to murder you. You're dead. All this murder talk in Saudi. I think he even said you could see an execution. It was very on the nose.
Yeah, he did. He did. I counted.
Yeah, use the word execution.
I counted 6 legitimate death threats.
Yeah, he pretty much said everything but I'll cut your fucking head off.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was on the tip of his tongue.
It almost came out. But luckily, Cedric and Shelton jumped him. But he just thwarted them.
Well,
he's going to Saudi.
Well, not only are we going to Saudi, but you forgot one of the biggest things. When Bobby Lashley came out, Bobby Lashley agreed to have a match with Goldberg in Saudi Arabia under the condition that it be no holds barred. That is correct. Bobby Lashley received 4 death threats. And then said, hey, let's have a no rules fucking match. Goldberg followed this by saying, one of my favorite things, this gives me a license to kill. That was the nail in the coffin for me in terms of this. Between this and last week's Big Arn Anderson promo. A lot of people, legit.
It's October. They want graphic violence.
This is graphic violence. So Lashley Goldberg is going to be no holds barred. Which means that Crown Jewel will at least have the same amount of stipulations as Extreme Rules did.
Oh, yeah. Minimum,
at least. It can only, at this point, have more stipulations than Extreme Rules did.
It probably will. It's usually a bigger show.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods take on Cedric and Shelton. But nothing really special here.
Well, yeah, they were just taken out by fucking Goldberg.
Yeah, so they were weakened. Xavier hits his big tightrope elbow drop for the 3 count. And then after he just starts yelling in the camera, crown me! Hail King Woods! He's excited for the King of the Ring.
Xavier Woods, if you don't make if Xavier Woods isn't the top of your King of the Ring list, you're doing this wrong. We did our heel King. We got that out of the way. Time for babyface King. Xavier Woods is the only member of the New Day to not receive that kind of second level of acknowledgement, you know? One of the greatest tag performers in the history of the business, you could say.
Yeah.
But, you know, that second level, he's not going to win the fucking WWE championship. I mean, hell, oh my God, that would be huge. Just King of the Ring, though? It's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't see why not. He's been campaigning for it. So maybe that's the only reason if they love to swerve you, if it's too predictable.
Street Profits came out afterwards, congratulated them on their movie with Taker on Netflix.
Escape the Undertaker.
Which I haven't done. I saw the trailer for it, like the promo for it. I haven't played it yet. I don't know when it comes out.
I had no idea this even existed until I saw the commercial. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I did see some earlier things maybe a few weeks ago. But yeah, it's like an interactive. It's gonna be silly.
Yeah,
because obviously the fucking New Day is it, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I'll try it probably, but I don't.
Of course, I'm gonna do it. Of course, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so they all end up just dancing in the ring together. No Undertaker dancing though.
No Taker dance, thank God.
Randy Orton comes out because earlier in the night he challenged Omos and he wants to hear what he says, but Omos and AJ come out and they just kind of tussle. There's no match.
No
Maybe
match.
That'll be a crown jewel.
God damn it, AJ. God Damn it. Final round, though, of the Night 2's draft selections. Kind of come at us. What do we have here? Carmella moving to Raw.
Yeah.
So, she can bring that Shockmaster gimmick over with her. Ridge Holland moving over to SmackDown.
Yeah. Called up, split up from Pete.
Called up, split up. R.I.P. Peter Dune. Gable Stevenson moving to Raw. Gable Stevenson was the Olympic
gold
medal wrestler, who sort of seemed to have bypassed the PC and NXT 2.0. And then finally...
so this is kind of a weird pick. I mean, I think they did it just to get his name out, because I don't think we'll see him even wrestle until past next year's draft. He hasn't even started training or anything.
Who the hell knows? You would like, well, eyes on the product, but what eyes? What's the difference? It's all kayfabe anyways. And finally, Sami Zayn gets drafted. He's staying on SmackDown until his contract runs up, and then he has to wait 90 more days, and then El Generico comes back. But that'll be Double or Nothing 2022. We'll talk about that when it comes.
Yeah. And this gives him something, he can go on SmackDown and be like, I was the last pick. I should have been the first pick. Fuck you.
And anything where Sami Zayn can say like, like remember when Dolph Ziggler had the "It should have been me." That's been Sami Zayn's.
Give me what I want.
Yeah, that's been Sami Zayn's last 4 years. Has been It should have been.
Still
me.
waiting for that documentary. Where's that?
Still waiting for that doc. WWEshop.com. Still waiting for it.
Well, let's go to this main event we promised you at the beginning. Bianca Belair taking on Charlotte Flair, not for the title. And of course, Becky Lynch comes out with a big coat to do commentary. But Bianca and Charlotte, I don't think there's any arguing. These are two of the most athletic women in the company, in all of wrestling. But unfortunately, they only got to go about 10 minutes. It was looking good. The match was going well, but... Charlotte hits a big spear. She does the tranquilo moonsaults. Bianca fights back. She looks like she's about to hit the KOD, or she does hit it. Charlotte kind of takes it a little weird. She kind of like lands on her side, but Bianca makes the cover, but Becky yanks her out of the ring, throws her into the steel steps, causing the DQ, ruining what could have been a good match. And,
damn.
Yeah,
God damn it, Becky.
She beats Bianca up until Sasha runs out, and she beats up Becky, and Sasha Banks stands tall to end the show.
And like we said, we've said this on previous shows. Like these two, this is the money ticket right here. Charlotte, Bianca, let them go, and damn you if you're the one to interfere. And that's exactly what happened. Best match of the night. I think between this and that Damian Priest match, there was a lot of people on this show, but they couldn't really translate that into kind of good great between the rope action.
Yeah, not a whole lot. The draft, I guess,
and honestly,
the focus.
And the only surprising draft pick really was like the Gable Stevenson, like you just said. It was like, huh?
Yeah,
really?
A couple. I mean, like Xia Li, Ridge Holland, a couple call-ups there.
Couple call-ups, But so the draft, it doesn't take place until after Crown Jewel. So everything...
Yeah, that whole thing... that whole thing's weird. So, I mean, Sasha Banks can win the SmackDown title still, bring it back to SmackDown, which would... And then if Charlotte drops the title to Raw, that'll just sort everything out. But who knows? A couple additional picks here after the show on good old Raw Talk. Rude and Ziggler officially moved to Raw. Liv Morgan gets drafted to Raw. One of the funny ones, Mia Yim gets drafted to Raw after not appearing once on SmackDown after being drafted last year.
Did she didn't? She didn't
year.
Really?
With not a single.
Wow,
appearance.
That's awesome.
Hopefully that'll change. She's on Raw. Tamina gets drafted to Raw, and Natalya gets moved to SmackDown, so they're split up. And then Tegan.
Bye, whatever your team was called.
Yeah, never got a name. But this next team didn't even get the title shot they were promised, as Tegan Nox gets drafted to Raw and Shotzi Blackheart gets drafted to SmackDown.
What did you think it was going to happen any other way, Mike? Maybe it's
let's just break up every team that
exists.
exists.
This one's on us for thinking, Shotzi's it's going to be good. This one's on us, I think.
Yeah. One thing that was kind of stupid was The Miz and John Morrison were both separately drafted to Raw. Yeah. So, like, why?
You think they just want to put Mizmo together, yeah.
Jinder Mahal and Shanky were drafted to SmackDown, where Veer was split up and put on Raw, so he's fucked.
He's fucked. Isn't that crazy? Like, yeah, he's getting the whole Tucker tree. It's so bizarre. Some of the shit's so bizarre. That would be like there's a draft halfway through WCW, and they're like, "Hey, Hulk, you're going to this show," and then okay, so Scott, Kevin, you guys are going to the other show. It's like, wait, no, like we're a thing. It's like, no.
And then the final big name, Bailey, who is still recovering from injury, gets the Brock Lesnar treatment, as she is now a free agent. So she can show up anytime.
Her,
anywhere.
Brock, Cena might be another one.
Yeah.
I bet Goldberg is probably also quote
Goldberg wasn't
a
drafted.
free agent.
Yeah, a couple, but she's definitely the youngest person kind of getting that treatment there. Special treatment.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows?
I guess there are still people like Lacey Evans are technically free agents.
Yeah, still a lot of those people that you haven't seen. But right now, this and on both shows, on the shows right now, this main event women's scene it feels too big to be splitting up the tag teams. Like, I mean, sort of, we have Charlotte and Becky are our champs, and then we have the likes of Sasha, we have the likes of Bianca. Okay, we're sort of occupied there for a little bit. I don't know. Apparently not.
I mean, hopefully they start using the likes of Mia Yim and Liv Morgan's getting this little push and Naomi getting a storyline. Hopefully they keep things like that going.
Yeah.
Let Shotzi wrestle.
Because I guess there's no actual women's tag team now. Like, there's no women's team that is a team.
Yeah, they broke all of them up.
They're just two people who wrestle together with kind of like separate gimmicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no team.
There's
no
I in team, but there is a title. That was our first half of the show. Mike, should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a little break.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back because, of course, this week's NXT 2.0 rolls on, as well as a very special 2-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. So stick around.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast here, folks. Thank you for checking out through the break. God, what feels like a very light week, comparatively speaking. Anytime we come out of a pay-per-view, especially now with the addition of, I think last week even was a longer than usual episode of Rampage. God, there's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, a lot of wrestling out there.
A lot of wrestling out there. So let's just get into more professional wrestling then, shall we? Let's get into this week's edition of NXT 2.0.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So
That's right.
Yeah, that's right, Mike. So I got to be honest. I got to be on air honest. Because my attention towards NXT 2.0 since its debut has been wavering. I gotta say. I feel very open speaking to you in this kind of way, Mike. I'm letting you know my truth.
Yeah, that's fine.
And my truth is, it's hard to keep up on the match to match of it all. I see things with headlines like LA Knight or Raquel Gonzalez. I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening here. But then I see Joe Gacy and Malik Blade. I say, huh? So yeah, that's kind of where I am right now. We're not watching NXT much anymore. It's feeling like dark. Is that just me?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's their point. They wanted to go back to being more developmental instead of a third brand of the same thing.
Yeah. I guess it's like they wanted to be developmental enough that we develop, but it's still on television live.
Yeah,
It's like
still enough
a juiced up version.
Yeah, and enough names that are still established and can go.
Right.
Yeah. So, one of the headline matches you get, Mandy Rose takes on Ember Moon. And Mandy looking pretty good here. You know, she's been training hard to go with this new look, this push as the leader of Toxic Attraction. And, pulling out a couple new moves. And, of course, she wins the match with that awesome C-trigger, which even Kenny Omega was tweeting about.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, I forget exactly what he said. He was like, oh, it's so nice to see my influence spread everywhere or something. But,
Nice to see the C trigger. But Ember Moon has worked 4 or 5 matches maybe all summer. Throughout the summer. It sort of seems like she had that little group. Her and Shotzi, they were doing well. And then I think Ember got hurt. Mm-hmm. And now it's been just, not much, maybe she's been recovering from that injury or whatever it is, but not going places.
Yeah, I don't really know what there is for her to do.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
Yeah. Your buddy LA Knight, he got a win over Odyssey Jones. I think Andre Chase ran in there to help him out, so he's still doing his thing.
I don't even know who Andre Chase is.
Chase University.
Okay, that guy. Okay,
that guy. The champion, Ciampa, you know who he is.
Hell yeah, baby.
Out. He lets us know that we're getting the return of Halloween Havoc, October 26th this year. And he needs an opponent. So Braun Breaker comes out, answers the call, says, hey, I've only been here a few weeks, but I've treated you with nothing but respect, and I want to be the champ. Ciampa accepts the challenge. So they are strapping the rocket.
And just like that, Tommaso Ciampa has lost the NXT title to Braun Breaker.
I don't know if I'll go that far yet.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I mean, the very first night they had Von Wagner in that Fatal 4-Way. He didn't win. So.
Von Wagner. It's a good name. It's a good name. Joe Gacy, he's still doing his whole woke thing. He beat Ikemen Jiro. But, yeah, I don't know. Cora Jade, Virginia Ferry. Definitely never heard of her. Now, the Virginia Ferry, we did talk about this last week. Definitely sounds more of a...
like a boat?
Of a boat.
Yeah. But Cora Jade, one cool thing about her, I guess, is she's only 20 years old. The youngest in all of the company.
And she seems to have it's like Darby Allin for kids. Like she has a couple tattoos. She has a little skateboard. It's Darby
like the
Allin.
Banana board.
Yeah, it's Darby Allin for kids.
Sure. But she gets beaten up, and Virginia gets beaten up, and Frankie Monet takes on Cora, and Cora Jade ends up getting the 3 count. Big upset. So Frankie Monet, they haven't really done much. They hyped her up, brought her in, and then they took away her dog, and now she loses all the time.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder, was Frankie Monet a Trips and Hunter or a Hunter and Sean thing? And then, I wonder, people like Frankie Monet and then LA Knight, did they just come in at the absolute wrong time?
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Were things going to be different?
I don't know. Hard to say. But Pete Dunne versus Cameron Grimes, 2 of the pillars of this brand. Mm-hmm. Nice technical wrestling here. Fast-paced. Things are going pretty well when Ridge Holland tries to interfere, but Kyle O'Reilly comes out, fights him off. But all this chaos causes Grimy to lose focus. But he still goes for the cave-in, but Dunne avoids it, hits the bitter end, gets the win.
This was one, this should have been, I feel like in old NXT days, this is a 12-minute match, at least. Same result, give these guys time. But instead, because we have to pack 7, 8, 9 matches on this card, this is now like the 5-minute match of the night. Weird. Sucks. Yeah.
I mean, not the match itself, but seeing, Grimes, he's beyond losing in 5 minutes at this point.
Well, especially exactly. And now that Ridge Holland has moved over to the brand, and maybe NXT will kind of use these next 2-ish weeks, week and a half, to kind of maybe end some of their own NXT stories, right?
Yeah. I mean, they had The Way is all but split up now.
So, I think The Way is split up. They're just not telling us.
I actually heard Johnny Gargano just edited his Twitter profile and removed NXT and changed it to just pro wrestler. So contract's ending soon, Johnny.
December 2nd, baby. God, who do we want to see?
Best friends with the Young Bucks, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. That'd be a good match.
What's his? It's Johnny Gargano. What's his name? I wonder if he needs a new name.
Now his pre WWE name was also Johnny Gargano.
Okay, and then
so
he'd probably still be Johnny
whether or
Gargano.
not he's able to keep that, I've heard them calling it the Gargano Escape in all of his indie performances.
Well, then here's hoping.
Amen.
But then, yeah, we get that Malik Blade guy you haven't heard about, but Tony D'Angelo, you've heard about him. He's making his anticipated debut, and the crowd, they were actually really into this guy. They were chanting Tony right off the bat, and he comes out, tries to bribe the ref beforehand, but he doesn't take it. Anyways, I like his character.
Now, is this?
Match itself
It's like
was
a
pretty
mafia
simple.
thing. Is that the thing? He's like, hey, I'm from
He's like a mobster, yeah.
Chicago. Hey.
Yeah, but not the but not too imposing.
Yeah,
Like,
not
he's
too
still
imposing,
Funny. He's
you
like
know.
a Joe Pesci. Like, hey, what the fuck?
Exactly, right. It's kind of like it's like Joe Pesci in Home Alone, not Joe Pesci in Casino.
Yeah.
Not
the murderer.
Not the murderer one. That being said, Joe Pesci in Home Alone.
He was still a bad guy.
Almost a murder. You know, if
He would have killed the kid.
he
if he
would have
coulda.
killed the kid. Oh my god, if he was competent at all.
The director's cut is much darker.
John Hughes filmed a whole alternate ending where Joe Pesci shoots young Macaulay Culkin and then shoots his accomplice so there were no witnesses, and then shoots the old man with the shovel across the street so there were no witnesses. Very dark.
Yeah, but Tony D'Angelo gets the win here after a nice twisting perfect plex.
Perfect
I don't know. I like him so far. He didn't do too much, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, we'll see.
He's like an Enzo Amore type. We'll see how over he gets.
Hey, well, at that rate, he'll be the most over thing in the company.
Hey.
Bada boom.
Mei Ying making a rare in-ring appearance here to take on Indy Hartwell. And you know, I still like Mei Ying. She's got the cool look. Her plodding, deliberate style, moving around the ring and just targeting the throat with those strikes. But then, yeah, Indy's got somebody. I forget her name's Persia or something.
Persia Parati.
Persia Parati. Yeah, she helps Indy out. Kind of takes a bullet for her when Mei Ying tries to kick her head off. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Indy follows up. She hits a big springboard elbow and pins Mei Ying. But as she walks up the ramp, Mei Ying sits up right after to show she's still a monster. But with Xia Li being called up, there's not much future, it looks like, for Tian Sha.
Yeah, this was bad. I thought Tian Sha's thing, like the one thing she had left was like her mysterious dominance.
Yeah, she loses in like her second match ever. It's weird.
Yeah. So that's Mei Ying, I guess, gone. And because yeah, clearly Indy Hartwell is the priority. She's, probably young. She's kind of coming off this fun story with Dexter Lumis. She's clearly like what they want going forward.
Yeah, your next top girl.
Exactly. But yeah, in terms of that, gosh, Mei Ying. Nice knowing you.
Yeah, and I mean, Boa, I don't even want to know ya. But yeah, maybe she can just pop up with Xia Li on Friday on SmackDown. That'd be nice.
Yeah, maybe. And then, yeah, at least it's on SmackDown.
Yeah. Raquel Gonzalez gets an interview, but is interrupted by toxic attraction, and yeah. I like the group, but their promos are still not the greatest. Crowd's giving them the what chance, but eventually they all beat up Raquel until Io and Zoe make the save.
Yeah, they're little what chance because there's only a handful of people. What?
And Io and Zoe, this tag run has really has really stopped the momentum that those belts had. They started off fun, but now these two are just
both sets of tag belts are effectively both useless and the same thing.
And a waste of someone like Io Shirai. Once again, she doesn't get called up, so it's like another year in NXT. What the hell is she going to do down there?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, there's nothing more for her to do because, I mean, if Raquel is our champ, that's the way that's going to go. Indy Hartwell, I think, is a next kind of in-line person, if not after Mandy, if not after Frankie Monet. It's, there's sort of now this, like, lineup you got to get in.
Dakota Kai, she didn't get called up.
Dakota Kai didn't get called up.
Yeah, who knows? But, I mean, it seems like Mandy will be the one to get the shot.
To get the chance,
so
yeah.
Maybe even the belt with the way they've been pushing her.
Okay.
Anyways, let's go to this main event here. Fatal 4-way tag team title match, NXT title. MSK, Jensen Briggs, Grizzled Young Vets, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick Williams. Bout it. That's all I know about him. Anyways, this only got 12 minutes, so they had to go fast here. A lot of quick eliminations, but they all had, just nonstop. People are flying, hitting flips. MSK getting some cheers here. They're getting some crowd on their side, but
still
Anyways.
not as much as you would think you would want out of your 5 or 6 5 or 6 month now champions.
Yeah, there really is no team like babyface team. Like, I don't know. You could team up Johnny and Dexter. They'd probably get cheered, but I don't know.
They would, yeah, but I can't think of anybody kind of. It would be one of these new guys. Well, Hit Row's gone now.
Yeah, he still has to drop the belt.
And what's going to happen with that? I guess we have 2 weeks for him to lose the fucking title in his first title defense.
That he's finally defending it against Escobar.
So he's going to lose it, fucking Escobar, because they didn't get called up.
No.
Fucking hell.
So that feud's over. But anyways, this match eventually comes down. MSK, Briggs and Jensen. MSK hit their finisher. And I don't know if you noticed, the pin was messy. The ref counted to 4. But MSK got the win, retained the belts.
Yeah, they got
it. It wasn't like a shoulder count. He just went 1, 2, 3, 4.
Weird. Like almost like he was like celebrating on that last one. Like, ah!
I don't know. But MSK win. They retain. Briggs and Jensen show respect, shake their hands after. But then Imperium jumped them from behind. And, big brawl.
Yeah, so like we said, MSK won these back in Stand and Deliver, which I believe was just before Mania, so early April. And that has sort of been it. Yeah. Yeah,
Woof. It's just kind of... Yeah, the tag division. All around.
But it's really funny that like this was an A+ comparatively speaking to the rest of the show. Like this was easily the best match of the show.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, it's fun. And boy, if you want to watch watch some old, if you can get into a YouTube hole of old MSK things when they were called the Rascals. One of them. Which one? Nash or Wesley? Yeah, Wesley still does. He does that thing, where he kind of like cartwheels across the ring and then jumps over the top rope. Yeah, he does that, but it way more flips.
He was younger, more
when
agile.
He was younger, more agile. Same thing, way more flips. But that was our edition of NXT 2.0 this week. Yeah, we'll keep up until the Havoc, and then I don't know. It might just be Cole's notes from that point out, which sucks because the theme song is so good.
The new one?
No, the one that you made for the show.
Oh, that one.
It's really good, and so I still want it to be a part of the show, but.
Well, we can still pull it out for the takeover.
Pull it out for the takeover. Well, for now. Let's cross brands then, shall we? Because Tuesdays rolls into Wednesdays. If it's Wednesday, you know what that means. It's time for some All Elite Wrestling Dynamite.
AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
This week's special edition of Dynamite also because it's our 2-year anniversary. Gosh, I remember the first night like it was yesterday.
2 years ago.
It was approximately 2 years ago. The show opens up with 8 men who are fucking ready to fight in the ring. Justin Roberts just tells us, hey, here we go. We have the Elites, of course, the team comprised of Kenny Omega, Adam Cole,
Super Elite.
Bebe. Hey, the Super Elite. That is right. Yeah, and then both the Bucks. They're taking on Jurassic Express, Bryan Danielson and Christian Cage. Marco Stunt, I think he was standing at ringside. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I can't see him.
Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. Big 8-man tag. A lot of fun in this match. Just, 8 of your top talent, fan favorites. Jungle Boy continuing to show why he's, one of the best young baby faces. As MJF said, one of the 4 pillars of the company.
Mm-hmm. And you can always tell because in multi-man tag matches like this, Jungle Boy ends up working the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. He gets beat up for a bit. He has a comeback.
Before anybody else is tagged in.
And of course, Bryan has the crowd going nuts. Lots of yes chants after every kick. But then on the outside of the ring, Christian gets sprayed in the eyes by Cutler with that cold spray. And the Bucks hit him with the Indie Taker onto the ramp. So he's taken out of the match. And then back in the ring, Adam Cole gets Jungle Boy in a camel clutch. Then the Young Bucks, they both hit the ropes. They're building up momentum over and over. And then they just stop. And they both plant a kiss on each of Adam Cole's cheeks. The ones on his face. But that was fine. Some fans chanted "Holy shit" at that spot. They loved it.
Man, fans
I'm
are.
sure Jim Cornette was not.
Yeah, let's go to the drive-thru. See what Jim Cornette has to say.
But yeah, Bryan and Kenny, when they have a showdown, that gets a huge crowd reaction there, and Bryan manages to get Kenny in the cattle mutilation, but Nick Jackson breaks it up with a big senton bomb. Then Jungle Boy hits the huge running Hurricane Rana where he jumps over the top rope, takes Nick off the apron to the floor. And then one after the other, they all just do dives, flips to the floor, jumping off the ropes. And then when it's Adam Cole's turn, he hits the ropes and then stops in the middle of the ring to do an Adam Cole, baby. Another great moment.
This was the moment of the match. The entire crowd was on there. They were waiting. They were. Yeah. If you're engaged, you know what's going to happen. He's going to look at hard camera. He's going to put his hands up, and you better be fucking ready to call that. That looked like that was one of these moments too. There was this smile on his face that he's being smarmy piece of shit, but even he couldn't hide the little grim happening behind him.
The satisfaction.
Amen.
Of the moment.
Amen.
Great moment. And then the Elite, they distract the ref so they can low blow Luchasaurus. And then they try to hit him with this quadruple power bomb, but somehow it kind of botches. Kenny just kind of falls flat on his ass softly with Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
A rare botch.
And the crowd let him
thinking they heckled them a bit.
They heckled him for it, and Kenny Omega's look on his face is always just like
puts his arms up. Like, oops.
That's how you play off a botch. Don't pretend.
I mean, what can you do?
Go, oopsie.
Unless it's like the main part of the match, don't try to redo it. Just move on.
Yeah, move on.
So then after that, they just target Jungle Boy. And they hit him with a 4-man BTE trigger. That puts him down. The Super Elite get the pinfall. But, great opener match.
Great opening match. And AEW has done this before, where you can kind of put the past, present, and future of the company in one ring together. And this is how it works. We have, everyone from as experienced as Christian Cage to the experience of Jungle Boy and all the levels in between. I mean, how many Tokyo Domes between these dudes? How many main events of pay-per-views between these guys? How many titles around the world between these guys? And God, Jungle Boy will take every pin. Because when he goes over that one day, whenever that happens, it'll be the pop of the century when Jungle Boy finally gets that championship.
And he will. It's
just a matter of fuck. He's going to hold it. Sammy Guevara's going to hold it. Darby Allin, MJF, all these guys, they're all going to be champion at one point. Just, we know we can wait. I can wait. I'm patient.
Yeah, it'll get there. Up next, CM Punk comes out to another big pop. Cuts a promo, just, restating how happy he is to be back in the world of wrestling. And they're in Philadelphia. So he makes an offer. He says, I can either buy everyone here a Philly cheesesteak or I can wrestle a match tonight.
Well, I think he said cream cheese first.
At first he said Philly cheesecake.
Yeah, Philly cheesecake. And he's like, what is it, cheesesteak? Cheesecake?
Yeah. So, but they chant wrestle, so that's what they're hungry for. But I bet what would happen if they chanted cheesesteak?
Like a unanimous, everyone in unison, cheesesteak.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck. That's not like an ice cream bar. That's probably at least $5 a cheesesteak.
Tony Khan's looking at the expense report. He's like, fuck, can we make it fit?
Get every Uber in the city out here.
Yeah. Uber Eats, hi. We need 14,000 cheesesteaks.
But he's not going to fight tonight. He's going to fight on Rampage, which they tape on the same night.
Which is tonight, for the sake of the crowd. The crowd gets to see it.
Like, okay, they don't care.
And for the sake of TV ratings, they get to promo it. It might be best of both worlds.
Yeah. He says, you can buy your cheesesteak later. I'm going to fight Daniel Garcia. So that's match is set. And on his way out, he stops and takes off his spanking new Jordans and hands them over to a little fan dressed up like Orange Cassidy.
I feel like we've seen that fan before.
Kid.
I feel like we've seen that kid before.
Yeah. I feel like he's like Orange Cassidy kid. Like he's always there in that spot. Oh, like green shirt guy? Yeah. He's Orange Cassidy.
OCJR.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
Then we get a promo from Arn Anderson as he's outside of Cody's home just burning things in a trash can. And Cody looks out the window and he's like, Arn, what the hell are you doing?
The best part of this promo, Arn's burning things in a trash can, and you're thinking like, okay, he's burning things in a trash can. No, he's in Cody's backyard burning shit in a trash can.
Yeah.
Cody's probably just like watching television, sending emails. It's like, Arn, what the fuck are you doing, bud? I have a fire pit right over there.
So he tells Cody to come down here, see what's going on, and just starts laying into him and gets Cody to take off his tie and throw it in the fire. Well, Cody protests at first. Arn slaps him in the face, and he puts it in. So they're doing this. Arn just turning into crazy old man. He's shooting you in the face. He's burning your clothes.
He's starting fires in your backyard.
Yeah, but hopefully it puts the fire in Cody to finally turn heel, like we all want.
Yeah.
One day he'll have to hit Arn back. It can only take so much.
And then we get Arn Cody at Revolution.
Yeah, we'll see. But we are getting a TNT title match. The newly crowned champ, Sammy Guevara, taking on the All Elite debut of Bobby Fish. Yeah, good match. Fish isn't, he's not as flashy as Sammy, but he's a very well-rounded competitor here. And I love Sammy's gear here that he was wearing, this pink sparkling cheetah print. I liked it.
A new thing, yeah. Haven't seen him in cheetah print before. Thought he was a panda. Thought that was his whole vibe.
Yeah. And speaking of gear, Bobby Fish. I haven't seen this before. He had the mouth guard with pointy teeth in it.
Yeah, that looked real. That looked real cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Fish piranha. Yeah. Anyways, Bobby, he puts up a good fight. Hits a nice avalanche Falcon Arrow for a big 2 count. But Sammy fights back, hits the GTH, which what does it stand for? Go to hell? I don't know.
Go to heck?
Go to heck. Gets the win with that. Retains his title. But then afterwards, that stupid idiot Dan Lambert and his American Top Team, they attack Sammy. Fuego tries to come out and help him, but he gets beaten up. So Jericho and Hager come out. They lend some help. Just clear out the ring, and then the vacuum. Dan Lambert gets back on the mic to immediate boos. This nonstop heat. Everyone hates him. He issues a challenge to Jericho, and he goes to respond, but his microphone breaks, so he slams it down, gets another one, accepts the challenge, and they'll fight some other day.
Yeah, there was a lot to unpack here from the whole thing. One, that GTH looked incredible. The way, it flips you around. Great little addition to that GTS. Two, so Dan Lambert, actually, so in 2001, he started an MMA school. in Miami or whatever it is, which actually trains and houses like some of the best UFC fighters ever. I was looking into American Top Team. Yeah, I was looking a little bit into it, like the likes of he said Masvidal, but of course like Robbie Lawler, Dustin Poirier, DeSantos, who we see, Tyron Woodley, like actual like some of the Amanda Nunes, she's a current champion. Some of the actual tops. So they're trying to go a different route of maybe kind of accessing that legitimate fighters thing, where WWE just brings them in and says, look, they're legitimate. AEW's going the separate route of like, hey, they're all this little group is legitimate, which either neither here nor there. But I do have to say one thing about Dan Lambert. I don't know the last time a promo was booed so hard and they did not stop.
Seattle.
That Seattle one was good. That Seattle one was good, but when it came to and even in Seattle, when it came to Elias and Kevin Owens responding, they were doing the wrestler thing, which is, how can I talk when they're booing? So you kind of play, you got to kind of give them time, hope they stop booing. Dan Lambert did not stop talking. That's how you deal with a shitty crowd. Flat out, don't stop talking. I've never seen this before. I have never seen. He just didn't stop. Like, okay, they're not going to stop booing, so just get it all out. Don't respond to the crowd at all. Keep going, and then which leads Jericho to being able to say, "I can't hear a word you're saying, my guy." And then everyone goes nuts again. Dan Lambert, I gotta give him props for fucking. You're giving a promo to maybe the most hostile promo environment we've seen in a while.
I mean, everyone hates this guy.
Everyone hates this guy. So I gotta give it to him for just not stopping. Just keep talking, get your shit out. We're on television. This has to go down. So let's go.
Let's go. Well, they hyped up that Tony Khan's gonna have a big announcement. But then we didn't actually see Tony Khan. It was Tony Schiavone in the ring for this big announcement as they unveil the new Women's Division Championship title, the TBS Championship, as was rumored and reported on this very show first, folks. So they have the old black velvet drape to unveil the new title, which pretty much looks the exact same as the TNT belt, but it's got the blue ribbon instead of red underneath, and of course the TBS logo in the middle. And they'll have a tournament to crown the first ever champion.
Yeah, that would be good. So I guess some kind of secondary promotion thing. Now that we have the two shows, these women need to be going for other things. And then kind of in the middle, or somewhere up on the show, they were like, "Here's what a bunch of the locker room has to say about it," and they kind of had these little vignettes with a bunch of the female performers being like, "I'm gonna win that tournament, I'm gonna win the title," classic things. And I was waiting for one of I think they cut to Ruby Soho, they cut to a new girl who made her thing. She's like, "I'm new here," and then they cut to Jade Cargill, and I was really hoping Jade Cargill was gonna say, "I don't give a fuck about that, Britt Baker, I'm coming for you." I was hoping one of them, they were all super on board with this title. I was hoping one of them would be like, "I don't give a shit. I want the big boy prize." But never happened, because we'll have to differentiate, kind of between the importance of the two. You need to make it happen.
Yeah. Did you see the image I just sent you?
Yeah. What about it?
So there's this one thing that's somewhat point. Are you looking at the title?
I'm looking at it.
The logo, if you look at it, it kind of looks like it says Hose, H-O-S.
I see it.
Which is, not for your women's title. You don't, maybe a bit more spacing between the T and the B.
Between the T and the B, that's funny. I see it. I see that now. Yeah, maybe.
No, the title looks great. That's just a bit of unfortunate.
A bit of an unfortunate side effect.
It's something once you see, now you're going to see it.
Yeah, every time.
But anyways, nice to have that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Darby Allin up next to take on Nick Comoroto, who, if someone who never watches AEW isn't familiar, they probably think, "Oh, this Comoroto guy is going to kick Darby's ass," because he's huge. But No, Darby's the bigger star. He ends up making pretty easy work of him. Hits a coffin drop, gets the win.
I think the highlight of this match for me, I think Darby Allin was like slapping Nick Comoroto across the chest, and JR made a comment that his chest hair is so thick, it's like he's wearing a vest. That was kind of my highlight for this match. JR was on his shit tonight. He had a couple good ones.
Yeah. And then after the match, QT Marshall tries to sneak attack, but Sting hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, which it seems like they do every week just to pop the crowd. Just let him hit someone. With
exactly. Yeah, we know. Well, yeah, his shirt still hasn't come. His shirt hasn't come off again. Again.
Yeah.
So the shirt's on. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, folks. We go backstage where the Dark Order. They've made up. They've made amends, and they agree to no longer have a single leader, but they'll hold votes, and they'll hold up their claws as. Yeah, that's how they do their voting.
Yeah, not only is that how they do their voting, but I think we also see Alan Angels doesn't wear his mask anymore.
Yeah, they mentioned that. Someone's like, hey, why don't you put the mask back on or something? You look like John Silver.
Yeah.
They said something. Dante Martin's in the ring, and he says, I'm ready to fight anyone. And then the lights shut out. Malachi Black appears in the ring with his skull helmet on, looking badass, and he sprays him in the face with the black mist and nails the black mass, which is still unnamed. They're just calling it that kick. That kick.
That kick. Dope.
Yeah. But it still looks great. Lights come back on. Dante has disappeared. He kicked him right out of the orbit.
No,
into a
the
black
camera
hole.
panned to him later. He just rolled down to the side of the ring. I don't
did
know
it?
why.
Oh, I just saw he was gone.
also expecting something to happen when the lights went out the second time. Nothing happened. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Black was just like, yeah, I accept your challenge. So, but they won't fight tonight. That'll be another day.
Amen.
FTW champion Ricky Starks comes out, cuts a promo because they're here in the home of ECW, Philadelphia. So he puts over Taz and insults former FTW champ Brian Cage. So Cage comes out, but Team Taz rescues him. And they're still feuding, I guess. I don't know. I thought they moved on.
The internal Taz beef.
Yeah. Team Taz just hates everyone.
Yeah, amen.
Up next, Hikaru Shida takes on Serena Deeb. And before the match, they hyped up if Hikaru Shida wins, she'll be the first woman in the company to hit the 50 win mark. And they've even got a nice little crystal trophy made up, standing at ringside.
Yeah, little pointy award.
Yeah, nice award there. Mm-hmm. And the match was good. Crowd was behind Shida. They tell you ahead of time that this is her 50th win, kind of give you a reason to pop. But, or maybe not, because Deeb putting up a good fight, pulling out some cool moves. But Shida fights back, so Deeb has to get dirty. She rakes the eyes, hits the Deeb talks, but Shida kicks out of that. So crowd's getting pretty hot now. Deeb just has been working over Shida's leg and slams it into the ring and locks her in a big half crab. And Shida taps out. Big upset. But I kind of like that. They made it almost too expected that she was going to get the 50th win.
They shouldn't have printed the trophy. They had to go to the trophy store. They had to write the thing. That's when I knew she was doomed. And Serena Deeb is one of these great performers who we saw when she was in and around that NWA championship defending here on Dynamite and stuff. And then sort of, we haven't seen her as much. However, she does hold the moniker. Dina Malenko has named her the woman of 1,000 holds, which I got to say is high praise. High praise coming from a guy like that. I mean,
every time we don't see her often, but when she's called upon, she more than delivers here. So, could be in the mix for that TBS title.
Hopefully.
And then afterwards, she goes over, grabs that trophy, and just cracks it over Shida's head. That fine crystal. Big boost for Deeb.
Fine crystal.
But I thought this was a great match and a good moment for Deeb to kind of establish herself as a heel maybe the second top heel after Britt Baker.
After Baker.
You know, we need someone.
And Jade Cargill seems very heely.
Yeah, but yeah, I like this. Afterwards, backstage, Darby Allin gets beaten down by this group of masked men, all dressed up in black, wearing the old ski masks, bank robber style. But we can tell who it is. It's the Pinnacle, because one of them hits an F10. It's got to be Wardlow. But yeah, they just throw him onto a pile of barricades, choke him with a skateboard, and they all run off.
Yeah, during the whole time, I think it's Excalibur is trying to be neutral, saying like, there's men in masks and suits, and they're taking out Darby, and they appear to be 4 of them. And then Tony Schiavone's saying there, that's MJF.
He's like, that's more.
And the Pinnacle. He's just like, clearly that is the Pinnacle. And Excalibur just keeps no-selling. Just, they're in masks. One of them is really large, delivered a spinning maneuver onto Darby. It's like, that's Wardlow F10.
Yeah.
It was really sick.
For legal reasons. I mean, as a fellow masked man himself, Excalibur.
Hey man, have you ever searched Excalibur no mask? It's
I respect the man too much.
It's not what you thought it would be, and it could change the entire thing. I respect him too much. I like that.
Yeah. But let's go to the main event of the evening, the much anticipated casino ladder match with the good old giant poker chip hanging at the top that earns you a guaranteed AEW World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. And much like the Battle Royals, we start with just 2 people in the ring, and every 2 minutes another person comes down with a special Joker surprise at the end. But one of these days, they'll have to end the match early just to make it unpredictable, before everyone comes out, someone gets it.
Yeah, imagine that before the Joker even gets there.
One day.
That would be fun. That would be real fun.
It's a battle royal, you can't do it, but in this match.
But in these, when they have these ladder matches, yeah.
Yeah, one day.
It would be fun.
But not today, spoiler. Because Orange Cassidy and Pac are the first two out. And yeah, they're just going at it, having some good stuff until Andrade is the next one, and he makes an immediate impact, sets up a ladder. Him and Pac climb up, and Andrade hits a huge sunset bomb off the ladder, slams Pac down, the first holy shit chant of many. And yeah, Orange Cassidy's doing his hands in pockets routine, getting the crowd pumped. Then Matt Hardy makes his way out, so they go at it. And then another 2 minutes go by. Lance Archer is the next one out. So starting to get crowded here. Lots of bodies, lots of ladders.
Lots of beef.
Scattered everywhere.
Lots of beef.
Lots of beef, lots of steel. Archer's going on a roll. He sets one ladder up across another, puts Orange Cassidy on it, and then just hits a big splash. Next man out, John Moxley. He just grabs a chair, goes after Archer. They start fighting around, all around the ring. There's one spot where Archer has a ladder over his head, and Cassidy just climbs up his back onto the ladder. But then we get to the final countdown for the Joker, and the music hits. We get the return of the Hangman, Adam Page. Huge reaction from the crowd.
Big
top
pop.
babyface.
Big pop.
The Cowboy's back.
And I mean to say, a blonde cowboy is back. I don't know if you got a bit of this effect. He's been spending a little too much time in the sun, or at least maybe just his hair has.
I didn't notice the hair.
It appeared to be a little more bleached than we've seen had him. I don't know.
Looked great. So he gets in the ring. He's unleashing on everyone. Crowd's chanting cowboy shit.
Oh, by the way, there was like 8 shits on this Dynamite. I don't know if you know. I think somebody didn't give a shit. Then they were a dipshit. There was
Monday Night Raw had a lot of shits too.
A lot of shits going on down here. Yeah, a lot of shits given.
Seth Rollins even tweeted about it. He's like, "Oh, we're allowed to say shit now." And the hashtag shit.
USA said we can use shit, so our ratings go up.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going crazy. Pac cuts him off though, hits him with a chair, and then sets a table up inside the ring. He climbs up the ladder, but then Andrade climbs up. Him and Pac exchange blows, and Andrade gets knocked backwards, falls off the top rope, crashing hard onto a ladder, which was set across the barricade. And these aren't the WWE ladders that are built of wood, meant to break. These look like just straight up ladders.
They're flat out, like they went to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And ask for black ladders, and then took them.
Yeah, I heard from people in the crowd that Andrade was pretty slow in getting up and needed help to the back.
Now he took a big bump. He took a big
bump there. But there was another big bump because Hangman and Pac are still in the ring. They both climb to the top of the ladder. Hangman picks up Pac and hits the fucking Deadeye off the ladder through the table. Absolute insanity. Crowd's on their feet. Potential spot of the year, Judy.
That was huge.
Yeah, like the trust to have to do that move between those two guys is insane. Just not land on your head and die.
God.
But, so anyways, crowd's on their feet. But then Moxley comes in, hits Hangman with the paradigm shift to probably the biggest boos Moxley's ever gotten here in AEW.
Yeah, he was a little more heely, I think, just comparatively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, just because everyone loves Hangman so much, but I do think Moxley is one that he'll want to turn heel eventually, and you could get a great run out of that.
Yeah.
And then back outside the ring, Matt Hardy climbs a ladder, hits a massive leg drop onto Orange Cassidy, breaking through a table, which really, Matt, we don't need you to do these. I appreciate it.
That was a big one.
But you're doing these big bumps for no reason. But,
nobody asked you, Matt.
Yeah. But back in the ring, Moxley and Page, they both climb the ladder. Final two. They're exchanging punches at the top. But it was kind of weird. Mox just kind of like stops and falls down off the ladder. I don't know. It looked kind of like it did. I don't. I guess he was just so beaten up.
Yeah, an unconfirmed.
It wasn't like a final punch knocked him out. He just kind of like. Yeah. Either way, he's down. He rolls out of the ring. Page is all alone. He unhooks the poker chip, and that earns him the world title shot against Kenny Omega, that everybody wants to see. And presumably that's your main event for Full Gear.
Full Gear coming up November 13th. Yeah. Adam Hangman Page came in hot the whole time. The crowd was missing him. And, got that oversized poker chip.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all want to see him win the big one. And hopefully that's Full Gear. Time to do it.
Yeah, another solid episode of Dynamite in this little list of solid episodes of Dynamite. And a great way for them to kind of cap off their 2-year anniversary.
Agreed.
Let's, that was the show, folks. Hey, thanks for listening. That was all our weekly wrestling action, but let's get into our final segment of the night, which is, of course, the Wrestler of the Week.
It's the Wrestler of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week, of the Week, of the Week. The Wrestler of the Week.
Mike, you start us off this time.
Okay. Yeah, this one came down to two people for me. But you know what? I'll give it to someone who we don't see as much. And Serena Deeb, Wrestler of the Week for me, for that good showing there on Dynamite.
Yeah, that was great. Holding Hikaru Shida back from that big 50-win plateau. I'm sticking same show, but I'm going straight to our main event with this one. Adam Hangman Page making his big return as not only the Joker, he had the crowd behind him. He hit his big maneuvers on all the big players and that Deadeye, like you said, spot of the year.
Crazy.
For him to then go up, and then of course, because unlike in WWE, it's a carabiner. That's how it's attached, right? But here it was a hook system. So he had to, what it's like, you had to he has to support the weight of the chip and then boost it up enough so it would get over the hook, and the camera was zoomed in, and I'm thinking to myself, come on, Adam.
Only took a couple seconds.
It took him a couple seconds, but
added to the tension,
to the tension, like it might not be him. Adam Hangman Page, you're the Wrestler of the Week, and maybe champion come out of Full Gear. I don't know. Kenny needs to make it past Full Gear to make it at a full 365 days. So I guess our question now, do we think he actually surpasses the 1 year mark, or is it time for a new challenger?
I just feel like it's time for the Hangman to win. I mean, you could easily have Kenny, but I mean, why put it off? The crowd wants it. Hangman's as hot as he can be. Just have him win the big one.
Yeah, this could be it. This could be it. Really can't. Looking forward to Full Gear. We'll be building up to that as the month goes on, and that's all the time we have. Thanks for listening, folks. Rate, review, subscribe. The show is everywhere. So what? We have Saudi, and we can chill for a couple weeks until we got Saudi.
Yeah,
and then we got
Saudi and Halloween Havoc.
Saudi, Halloween Havoc, and then Full Gear.
2 horror-themed events.
Yeah, kind of. We have a real bing bang boom of pay-per-views coming up towards the end of the month and into November. So yeah, really looking forward to it all. You got anything else you got to say?
Nope.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks for listening, folks. Mike, you take care of yourself.
We bowed it.